Hey there, welcome to day 313 of the Get Your Goals Annual Challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with a little birdie that is telling me it's important to take action every single day in order to get what we want. And that applies to any improvement area that we happen to be soaping up as well. We're working on our soap framework. We're not working on it. We're doing it every day to make sure that it gets installed in our subconscious. And we have a tool in our toolbox that will help us to create the life we want at any time. Whenever we face a challenge, a setback, an obstacle, a problem, instead of focusing on the problem, we launch into the soap framework in a subconscious level and conscious if we need it. If it's a bigger deal, a bigger problem, we are going to consciously go through these steps as well. A in our soap framework stands for action. And when we want to take action, which is always we want to take action as soon as we possibly make a decision, we need to analyze the alternatives and the options that we came up with yesterday, and then and I'm going to share a tool with you called the urine analysis. And I know it's a crazy name, but guess what? It helps me remember it. So we're going to talk through this urine analysis. I'm going to walk through it and actually do it for the area that I'm working on, the area I want to improve in my life. And I'll go through it and I will give my urine scores to it and show you how we do that exactly, so that everybody's on the same page and knows how to do it. And again, like any process, any tool that I share with you or anyone else shares with you, you can tweak it and change it a little bit to make it your own. I've changed the way I do even the urine analysis time and time again till I find the way that works best for me. And in some situations, the way I do it, I'll do it one way and then I'll apply it another way in a different situation. You got to do what makes sense for you and what helps you to get the results that you want. So what I did yesterday, like everybody else, is I brainstormed 10 possible options, 10 things I could do to help close the gap between where I am and where I want to be. Where I am right now is my nutrition is pretty chaotic and crazy. It's not planned. It's not organized. It's not anything. I guess that's something I just thought of now. I could actually plan out my nutrition and consumptions, and I don't even have that on the list. So my top 3 that I picked out of these 10, I did the 10-3-1. I did 10, and then I put dots by 3, and then I'm going to analyze and choose one of those options using the urine analysis. And so I make myself my own little chart in my journal, my challenge journal, so that I can keep track of everything and have everything in one place. You don't have to do that. You can just go through the challenge every single day and you're going to see improvement. But what I like to be able to do is go back and look at, oh, yeah, we talked about that, and this is what I thought back then. Well, what do I think now? Have I had, over the course of the year, a new realization, a new epiphany, a new aha that says, okay, I see what I was thinking before, but this is why I'm changing the way I think about this thing or what I believe or my feelings about it. So let's talk about the urine analysis. Here's my 3 options. Number 1, and I definitely need a magnifying glass. Number 1 is use this self-care journal. I found this self-care journal when I was looking for something else, and I realized I'd only done 2 days of it or 4 days of it. And I'm like, okay, I've got the whole book. So I can easily use this till the end of the year as a tool to, number 1, figure out exactly what I'm doing, what I'm eating, what I'm not, when, and it's got all kinds of other features in it that help me get a great, clear self-awareness picture of what's going on, what things are impacting my decisions when it comes to making good choices for my nutrition versus bad choices for my nutrition. When there's apple pie and pumpkin pie and other pie right on the stove when I get up in the morning, guess what I want for breakfast? Apple or pumpkin pie, usually with whipped cream or ice cream, heated up with this delicious sea salt caramel pecan honey butter that I got when I was in Texas. Unbelievable. That's stuff I don't even know if it should be legal. It's so delicious. You can put it on anything, including apple pie, and it's yummy. Okay, so let's look at, that's the first option. Use the journal. Second option is to consult an expert, get a nutritionist, go see a nutritionist and let them help me. What I realized about that as I was writing it down today is the first thing they're going to do is have me keep track of everything I'm eating and consuming and doing and what's going on, when and where and how and with whom. And so that kind of covers number 1, but I have to go find an expert to tell me to do that. Okay. And number 3 is join some sort of a program. There's lots of programs for all different niches, all different age groups in my case, for being healthier, right? We always want to get healthier as we're getting older. Hopefully, usually we assume that our health has to deteriorate as we're getting older, but I would actually say that I am healthier, way healthier now than I was in my 20s. I'm healthier now than I was in my 50s when I was 50, I had a sudden cardiac arrest and took a couple of week coma hiatus to decide if I really wanted to be here or not. And so definitely healthier now than I was then. Yet I have noticed this last summer, well, since about May, my health has been slipping a little bit. And that was following my sudden cardiac, my box reinstall. I got a internal cardiac device as part of that situation. And so I had to have it replaced after 13 years, which is really, really good. They usually only last about 9. So I got my money's worth with that box, and I've got a new one now. So I figure I'm good for at least another 13 to 15 years before I have to do it again. And I'm glad to say it wasn't at all what I expected. It was so much easier than the first time. I guess without the drama and the trauma and the dying part, just getting the box replaced was a lot easier than that whole rigmarole. And I didn't have to go through cardiac rehab this time or anything. So urgent. Let's look at this. Let's look at our urine analysis for my 3 things and tell me to stop talking about side topics. So option 1, we're going to look at all 3 of them across the board because for me that's easier. So, and I like to compare each option to which is most urgent. Now, the tricky thing about the urine analysis model is it's got most and least, because I like to have high numbers for something that's most urgent, but I like to have high numbers for something that's the least with respect to resources and energy. So urine stands for urgent, resources, important to me, and necessary, and energy or effort. How much energy and effort do I have to put into this option? Because that's going to make a difference depending on what else I've got going on in my life, whether I can commit that energy to it or not. So let's look at these 3 options with respect to urgency. And I'm going to give the most urgent one a 3, the next most urgent one a 2, and the least urgent one a 1. Why? And again, this is subjective. This is just my opinion on each and every one of these things. Because guess what? My opinion is the only one that counts. Our opinion is really the only one that counts when it comes to anything in our life. Light bulb moment. Okay, so urgent. Is using this journal or getting an expert or joining a program the most urgent? I'm going to say the journal is the most urgent, and the most, I'll hit the other criteria. I'm going to say joining a program, I'm going to give that a 1, because that's the one I want to do the least. I'm probably not going to do that. And I'll give a 2 to the get an expert, consult a nutritionist. All right, now let's look at this with respect to resources. So that's easy because if it's the most urgent, it gets the highest number. Now, if it takes the most resources, if it's going to require the most resources for me to do, then it gets the lowest number. If it requires the least amount of resources, it gets the highest number. I know this seems kind of backwards for resources and effort, but believe me, when you add them all up, you get the highest number total, and that's the option that's the option I usually go with. I almost never not follow my model. Sometimes I will if I can do something quicker, easier, faster, but then that should come out in the model anyway. So let's look at resources. What does it take for resources in order to do this journal? Well, I've already got the journal, so I'm going to give that a 1. No, I'm going to give that a 3. I just did the exact opposite of what I said I'm going to do. I'm going to give that a 3 too, because that takes the least amount of resources. And I've already got the journal, right? Easy, quick to do. Consult a nutritionist or an expert of some sort to help me sort out what I'm doing and consult on what would be best for me at this stage of my life. I'm going to give that a 2 again. And then I'm going to give the join a program a 1. And why I say that is usually from a resources standpoint, it's going to be expensive, right? The expert's going to be expensive, but a program in the long haul is going to be way more expensive than an expert. And money is a resource. Time is a resource. Energy and effort is a separate category. That's how big a resource is and a resource it is and how important it is to me. All right, let's do important. Important and necessary. What's the difference between that? Important is it important to me and to the situation that I address using this particular option or alternative? Important is using the journal important. I'm going to say, yeah, it's pretty important. I'm going to give that one a 3 because it's important that I figure out and become self-aware as to what I'm doing so that I don't accidentally continue to create and reinforce habits in me, bad habits in me that aren't going to give me the results I want. Nutritionist, is that important? I don't know. If I didn't think I could do it myself, I guess it would be important. Joining a program, is that important? I think those are both like a 1, but I'm going to give a 2 to join a program since and a 1 to the consultant, just because I like to mix it up a little bit and say, you know, these are kind of on the same level. So I'm going to give the one that's gotten the least points more points. Now, is it necessary? Do I need to do this? Does it need to even be done? I'm going to say yes, it's necessary. I'm going to give a 3 to doing the journal. Is it necessary? I don't think it's necessary to join a program at all. So I'm going to give that a 1. And then remember, never mind. And then the expert would get a 2 then. All right. And finally, energy and effort. How much energy and effort is it going to be for me to do this thing? And again, you can hire people to do certain things for you, but when it comes to your nutrition, you can't really hire somebody to do it for you, right? It's up to you to decide what does or does not go into your body. So energy and effort. Doing the journal, is that really going to take me a ton of energy and effort out of when it comes to time and energy and effort? It's going to take maybe 5 minutes a day to write down. Let's see what's even in this. And there's all kinds of different ones, but it's what's on your mind, notes, creative space, to-do list, top priorities, daily gratitude, and then all of the things that you consume, right? My daily routines, morning, noon, evening, bedtime, daily affirmations, self-care plans, love, health, relaxation, expression. So it might take me 5, maybe 10 if I'm dawdling minutes to do that every day. Do I have 10 minutes of energy and effort to invest in myself every day? Well, I sure as heck better, because otherwise I'm going to be in big trouble. So I'm going to give that one a 3. I'm going to give 2 to consultant expert, because that would probably take the least time and energy. I probably would have to schedule it, find time in my schedule to actually do it, get on someone else's schedule, etc. And then finally, join a program. It's easy to join a program. You can go online and join somebody's program like today. And then the amount of time required to actually implement their program is where you're going to get into a lot of energy and effort and time. All right, so let me add these up. 3, 6, 15, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 15 obviously is the leader. So I'm going to take action today to start using the little journal and filling it out. So we'll see how much time it takes me. Maybe I'll track how much time it takes me every day and see if I can get better and better and better at it. And I suspect that I will. That's it. So that's what we're going to do today. You are going to run a urine analysis on the top 3 options that you selected from yesterday's brainstorming. Any questions about this? Hit me up. Ask. Please ask, because we want to make sure that we nail these processes, nail these tools, know how to use them inside and out, and that we've installed them in our subconscious. I honestly don't have to think through this whole urine analysis consciously anymore. My subconscious brain works and does it for me whenever I'm looking at different options and alternatives. And it also does the head, heart, intuition, some of the other tools that we've used. Otherwise, you are welcome to check out the Get Up and Go Challenge private Facebook group page. Guide 17 is a write-up that supports the video every day. Any questions about that? I will admit that I'm using ChatGPT, the AI, to create that content, not editing it. It's just an additional source of information on the topic that we're talking about every day. So it's more than just me talking. All right. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Have fun with your urine analysis today.